Live from Grandma's basement, between two biomes on a Saturday night, with your host.
The second best night of the week.
Saturday night.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You go.
No. I'm laughing because I'm drinking and you're struggling to drink, opening your bottle. You're
trying to open a brand new bottle I got just for the show today, and I keep twisting, and the wrapper is spinning, and there's no little the little.
I want you to take a sword like champagne and whoosh, swing.
So in the spirit of, you'll love this, right? This is completely unscripted, unplanned. Like everything we do is unscripted except for the slides. in the spirit of B2B, what do I have next to me to open it? A golf tee. So I'm going to use a golf tee to try and pry open.
I'm waiting for a bottle to like crack and shatter, and just the screen to go melting and bourbon flying everywhere.
If my plastic golf tee is going to shatter the glass bottle, then we have a problem, my friend.
Well, I think faster than ever, we're just going to go right to this slide, which is what's behind the bar. You still don't have. Oh, did you get it? All right.
I got it.
Okay. So now you're going to pour. I'll go first because I'm just drinking the Mitchers because that's the bottle that we bought together, right? With our last our show funds. So I'm drinking that again, and it's kind of suiting because I think we're gonna get paid again soon.
You're gonna quit my job.
I know.
No, I'm not.
No, so it went from we started monetizing in May. We got paid for the first time September. Now it's 2 months later, and we're getting paid again. So
we get now, if we get to monthly. Now that's $60 a month. I can retire.
Now it's because the weather's getting colder, people are designing courses, the channel's getting more traction, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, so I'm just drinking the Mitchers. What are you drinking?
I made a little visit. It's been a couple of weeks, but I made a little visit, unbeknownst to other people, to my local,
Unknowns to your wife?
Other people.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that. I made a trip to the local liquor store, and they were like, "Gee, we haven't seen you in a few weeks. Where have you been?"
Now, do they call you Mashy? Do you say, "Hey, my name's Mashy"?
I do. I walk around and say my name is Mashy. Funny side note on that. As you guys all know, I listen, and you do too. Listen to Chasing Scratch and stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually sent Mike an email hoping maybe it'll get into the mailbag for the final episode of the current season.
Yeah.
I don't think they've posted the season yet, so I don't know if it made it or not. It was a pretty funny question that I tried to make it really funny. I used movie quotes in setting up the question so that maybe he'd be like, "Hey, this thing's pretty entertaining." Yeah. Except I said, "Mike, this is Mashy, aka course designer, aka GS Pro," and I don't know whether I wrote the message like I'm his best friend and see if he'll put it in there, and he doesn't know who the hell I am. So, and then I ended the note saying, "We talk about you a lot on the YouTube channel, but I don't tell him what YouTube channel it is." So maybe he'd write back and be like, "Hey, what YouTube channel is it?" He didn't.
We did have a semi-celebrity respond to one of our videos. Did you see that? Probably not.
No, who was that? I didn't know. Who was that?
Benny Montgomery Jr., who plays for the Rockies.
No, really?
He's my daughter's boyfriend.
He's your daughter's boyfriend. Wrong Rockies. He doesn't play for our Rockies out here, does he?
He's in the Rockies system, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
He's their number 6 prospect right now. So this could be really fun. He's going to be at the Yard Goats this year. He might be at the Rockies next year. If he is, I'm going to be making another trip out to Denver.
So let me go through my bottle real quick.
Oh yeah, we're getting off track here.
Do we actually also, should we talk about like when you're going to come out here since we now have a date?
Let's wait for the golf story. Just go. Let's get the alcohol so you can start drinking.
So I picked up. I have moved out of Colorado for my bourbon for this week, and I am in Kentucky, and I am drinking a bourbon called the Wise Man, and it is by the guy who founded Four Roses.
So is it Wise Man singular or plural? Because you know what the three wise men are, right?
I do, but this
Okay.
is the wise man.
I know, but I was just making sure.
Men.
Yes, the wise man. What is
yeah.
it? That's a shot of Jack Daniels, a shot of Jim Beam.
Shot of Jim Beam, and a shot of the third.
That's always the one I can't remember, which is like another name, like Glenn Levitt or something like that. Another name.
It's like Glenn Levitt.
Yes.
It's Glenn Levitt. So this is a brand new one. I'm excited. I took the staff, the guy who owns the liquor store, and I were chatting, and I'm looking at my phone because I took a picture of the staff pick description that I thought I would read. I love when the staff writes for stuff. So this is their description of this bourbon. It's Kentucky Owl is the bourbon, is the distiller. It's called the Wise Man. They also do Bardstown, which I've done in the past.
Wise guy.
So the Wise Man from Kentucky Owl is a lip-smacking blend of 4 bourbons, including 1 high in rye, 1 high in wheat, an approachable expression from the Kentucky Owl team created by John Rea of Four Roses fame. Great for sipping neat and sharing with friends. So,
Salut.
I'm popping the bottle. Now that it took me 20 minutes to open the damn thing.
You're already one behind me. I'm almost done with mine.
I think you've been going since noon today. So
actually, I didn't get started till like actually an hour ago because I was running around with the family.
Cheers.
So cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, it smells good. Good Kentucky. Oh, it's smooth. Really smooth. If you're looking for a good, no bite, like first sip bourbon, really smooth.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
So, off the people's least favorite segment of the show, the golf story, which is, I think for us, we both started both of our indoor leagues started this week, right?
We did, yeah. I think both indoor leagues started this week. Yep.
And do you host your indoor league or you go someplace else?
Our indoor league is all virtual. Like we don't go together.
That's right. So you guys all though get together and play like in a room together then play?
No.
Oh.
No, we can. So the guys who host our indoor league, I don't know if I should call it we don't call it we call it a winter league. Okay, it's not necessarily an indoor league.
Yeah.
And the guys who host it are a sim building company based here in Denver, and called Virtual Tee Golf, and they have a studio with several XO bays set up. So, like they said, we could plan to get people together and do it inside and play our rounds together and stuff like that. The way it's set up is kind of like SGT. We just play our rounds over the week and our individual sims, and then
poster.
But this year they did a great job because he went out. I don't know how he did this. He went out to various golf courses around the area here because it's all local folks here, and in the league, and got rounds of golf as prizes.
Oh, that's so cool.
So every week, there's a leaderboard ranking, thing like that, and I don't know if it's going to be at the end of the season or throughout the season, but there's going to be prizes, and they're like a foursome at this course and a foursome at this course.
Now, wait a minute. So you played. You sent me your scorecard, which was a great scorecard.
Yes.
That was the course that this league played this week?
That was the course this league played this week. Last week it was Wynn.
Yeah.
And this week it was Glacier Golf.
Oh, did you influence that or something, or they just picked that? Oh, okay.
Last year I didn't influence. I did, but last year the first 5 weeks they played all my course. It was all local courses. So they played, it was like, week 1 is Common Ground, week 2 is Arrowhead, week 3 is Sanctuary, week 4. So they played all the Colorado courses. Then this season they're breaking out and doing just various courses they like to play.
Nice. All right, cool. I thought for sure that when you posted that you played it because of me, and
I played it just because of you. Actually, they said, "Hey, Bashy, which course?" And I was like, "I only play Masters courses. He's got 2, so I'm really bored."
Hey, I got 5. There's only 2 worth playing though.
Okay, fair. Now, I do want to ask you though, but Glacier's is a V3 course?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So it was funny because I was playing, I was like, I'm still stunned at how beautiful the scenery and the rock work and the trees and I think it looks fantastic, but you can really tell the difference on the fairway and green where they mesh,
Mhm.
that it was a V3 versus V4. Like the textures have gotten so much nicer in V4.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's fun. I think I shot a 68 in today's round. So
Yeah,
pretty good.
that was so you sent me your scorecard earlier today, and I didn't even look at the course. I just looked at your score, and I was like, dude, 68, that's freaking awesome. And then I replied back. I said, by the way, I had my club this week, and we only play 9 holes because everybody comes to my house, 8
I
people.
didn't know yours was 9. I thought it was 18.
What, you thought I shot a 38 on 18 holes?
I know you sent me that you shot 68.
No, I didn't say that. I
Oh,
said
I thought that's what you said. Oh, I thought
no.
you also
I
shot a
said
68. And I
no.
was
I said
like,
I shot a 38 on.
oh,
Yeah,
I missed that.
yeah.
Okay, so
But
I
we
thought you
only
shot a
play. Yeah, we
68.
only play 9 holes. So we do 4 as an early at 6 o'clock, and then 4
Got
guys
it.
play later. I shot a 38. I won my round because we play. We
Head to
play
head.
head to head, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I won my round, which was very gratifying because I beat last year's champion, right?
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And what's also
Nice.
very satisfying is that we pick up from last year's handicaps, and I've improved tremendously since then.
Nice. That's always,
Yes.
yeah.
So people come in and I shot 38, and they're going, "Oh shit," you know.
Well, a few of you guys know, and I've played for a long time, and I've had lessons for a really, really long time. I've had the same swing coach for the last 5 years. And I decided in September to get a second set of eyes on my swing with Shanky.
Yep.
And a little skeptical at first. And he and I
we chatted about that. Yep.
Yeah, and don't laugh. Like I bought a lesson pack from him, and I think I burned 2 of the lesson packs just having conversations with him about how this is different than what I currently am doing, and and that kind of stuff. And like he showed me various different videos of like Victor Hovland and Patrick Cantley and what he's trying to do, blah 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 and stuff. And so I think I spent 2 lessons just getting him to
without taking a swing.
in. Didn't take a swing. I was just trying to understand and buy in, and like I don't, and I do think that it's starting after I've had a couple of lessons now. It's starting to take impact. My ball speed's up. My
I've noticed your
shot
ball speed's
control
up,
is
and we've played together that you're getting into the 150s now.
Yep. So it's
Yeah.
I think it's starting to click. It's Sting and I had a long conversation. I think he's right, but I think it's really, really difficult for someone who had, like myself, who has had lessons for so long and have grooved in a swing for so long, to change it.
Yeah.
Like I felt myself doing a hybrid anyway. So but anyway, I'm very happy. I'm hitting the ball further. I'm hitting the ball with more control. It's easier on my body and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep going and see where it goes.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Did we have something else to talk about in Golf Story?
We did. One more quick kind of announcement.
Yes. Little announcement.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about that you and I are going to Kiowa together in September next year with my group of guys. There'll be 16 of us. But we've also come that I'm going to come and see you in Colorado in the spring. In the first week of June.
And we have a date.
Yeah.
First weekend, yep. June
first weekend
1st or whatever that weekend is, that first weekend. We have not decided the days, if you're going to come out on Thursday or come out on Friday. Wednesday or Thursday. We haven't known that yet. But it will be that weekend, and we'll have to figure out how many rounds you want to play. Do you want to do a mix of play the course and the sim and then go play it in real life, or just go play it in real life? But I'm excited for you to get onto some really good elevated tees at a mile up and have to figure.
That's going to be a different experience for me. And honestly, Mashy, that will be the first time I've ever gone destination golfing. Put it that way.
Really? Do you have a bag and everything for your clubs?
Nope. I'm gonna get. That's my wife's getting me one for Christmas.
There you go. I'll send you some recommendations. I've gone through about 3 different ones, and if you want, I'll send you some recommendations.
Yes, I definitely need that. Yep.
And I do know we have 2 people that have expressed interest in joining us. One's local here, so Matt. I don't know if you know Matt from their main Discord. You've seen him, CO golfer.
I've seen the name. 100% seen the name.
I've played with him in real life.
Isn't he great guy? Isn't he a Unicore rep?
He's a Unicore dealer, a Unicore and Foresight, and and so he does a lot of that through the SGT Discord.
Nice.
So he is going to join us, and
weather permitting.
Weather
the
schedule
forecast doesn't look good right now. I'm just telling you, it looks bad for that weekend.
It's gonna be cloudy with a chance of meatballs. I don't know, or rainy with a chance of meatballs. But and then someone else has expressed interest. I'm not gonna say who it is, just because I don't know.
Well, if we say who it is, then like everyone's gonna want to come because he's a celebrity.
He is a celebrity. He is, exactly. So anyway, if anybody else is interested, we're not trying to build a big giant B2B golf thing. Right now it's going to be 4 of us, I think. But if a couple others decide they want to come hang out with us and play some golf for a weekend in Colorado, I think we could probably accommodate maybe one more foursome or so. Yeah. I'm not doing a room block. I'm not doing anything special, things like that. I'm not.
You're on your own. Yeah. You're on your own.
I'm not setting up a website to go do discounted airfare from Delta.
Maybe you'll give hotel recommendations, right?
Maybe, maybe I'll tell you. Here's a part of town to stay in, right? Exactly. So,
okay,
cool,
nice. Right. Well, I guess we'll come up with updates that on a weekly basis on kind of like as planning goes. Yep. So we touched on this last week, which was the idea of I don't know why, but someone wants to get to know us better, and this was a last minute ad, and I said, hey, maybe for the first week, let's do this. There's a game. It's called 2 Truths and a Lie, which basically is I say 2 things about me that are true, 1 thing that's not true, and you guys try to guess, or Mashi tries to guess what the lie is, right? So I'll get started here. Now, Mashi, I think you're gonna this is gonna be, I think, should be easy for you. Because a lot of these things have come up before.
Okay.
Maybe subtly have come up, and maybe you remember them, maybe you don't. Okay.
Depends on if I was actually listening to you. I normally don't.
Exactly.
I normally ignore you.
And how drunk you were when we talked about it, right?
It's there. Yeah. There's some of that too.
So they all have a theme on them. Is that they're all these are somewhat humble brags. Not really. This is just bragging.
Okay.
Which is so the 3 things. 1 of them's a lie. 2 of them are true. Number 1.
Okay.
I was a nationally ranked downhill skier. Okay.
Okay.
Number 2 is I was a nationally ranked triathlete.
Okay.
Number 3 is I was a nationally ranked CrossFit athlete.
Well, number 1 is true. And I'm going to go back to our conversation about the downslope bourbon that I had that was skiing related. And you were like, I did down. So number 1 is true for sure.
Yes, so that is true. I was a nationally ranked skier actually in high school. I spent my winters at a ski academy in Vermont. So I went to Colorado in November and then came home for Christmas for a couple days, then went to Vermont until the spring and trained for skiing, and was on the Olympic development team, and went to college and was ranked as high as number 8th in the country. Yep.
That's fantastic, man. That's great. And so the other 2 were between a nationally ranked CrossFit and nationally ranked triathlete.
Yes.
Triathlon runner. I don't remember these conversations. I'm going to go with another truth that you are a nationally ranked triathlon.
No, I was a nationally ranked CrossFit athlete.
Really?
Yes. As a matter of fact, my wife and I owned a CrossFit gym for a number of years.
Oh my goodness!
And we had a team that went to the CrossFit Games that you see on TV.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I was ranked 75th in the world.
74th?
74th.
That's great.
In the world.
74th?
Yes.
That's awesome, man. Wow, I don't mess with you. I run into you in a dark alley. I want you on my side, not across me.
And just so you know, all that changed with COVID. Actually, we sold the gym right before COVID. And I'm still involved. I'll help them coach and do do some things.
Probably a good thing. Probably a good fortune you sold it before COVID when everything had to shut down and not have to do, with gyms and stuff were shut,
Yep, we got very, they're fine. They did fine during COVID, but yes, we sold right before COVID, and my wife and I look back and they thank God. Okay, so what do you got?
So mine, like yours were all kind of like in the exact same genre. Am I supposed to have my 3 in the same genre?
No, not at all. And the thing is, that it was unfair to you because you had brought this up like last week, and then this week I thought about it, and then just before we started the show, I was like, oh, we should do this, and I already had mine, and I kind of blindsided you and said, what are yours? So, no, go ahead.
Okay. So mine are kind of like yours were like really good. Mine are kind of like, and I did the also, by the way, I did the interview with Eagles and Birdies on the designer, and so I kind of spilled my guts on everything there. So I have to think about stuff that wasn't in there.
Right.
But so the 3 that I have are, God, they're so boring now. Okay.
No, okay, go ahead.
I'm not doing it. I'm out. I'm not doing it.
You're skipping it?
Screw you. I'm not doing it. No. Okay. First one. These are all going to be easy. You'll get these the heartbeat. First one. I have been married for over 25 years. Is the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2 is I like to change cars every 3 years.
Ooh. Okay, cars every 3 years. Okay.
And the third one is weather permitting. I actually really enjoy going parachuting.
Parachuting. Okay. So man, the married thing is throwing me off because I feel if you were married 25 plus years, your kids would be older. So that's throwing me off.
Sorry. Let me modify that one.
No.
I've been married over 20. I've been married over 20 years. Sorry.
Okay. So now I think that one's true.
I don't know if it's going to change your mind or not, but I've been married over 20 years.
20 years. Okay. All right.
I don't know if it changes your mind or not. So.
Okay. Cars for every 3 years. I can see you being like a car lease guy. Definitely. And I think we might even talked about this one time. I think you and I, when we were playing golf recently, I think we talked about this. So I think car every 3 years, I think is one of the true ones. Now, weather permitting, you like the parachute. I think I don't see you as being a parachuter.
That's the false. Yeah. That's the false. I'm gonna jump on a perfectly good airplane. What the hell are you thinking? No way I'm ever doing that. My wife and I have been married. The reason my wife and I have been married for 23 years. Okay. So I didn't mean I was over 20, and that's why I said 25, and then because it was over 20, but then bourbon. I realized after I said it, I ended up with 2 falses. Because we've been married 23, not 25, and so I ended up with 2 falses. So I suck at this game.
All right. Well, next week we'll do something different. Jeez.
Yep, we'll do it different.
All right. So new courses.
New courses.
So we had 9, right?
Yes.
We had 9. Now, what's interesting is, did you see this discussion where there's only like a handful of courses in beta right now?
Not only that, I looked. There's only 3 courses in beta right now.
So what?
3 or 4.
So is that like being like I'm in like kind of like sales engineering stuff? That's what I would call a leading indicator, right? So is that like man, like so you think things are going to slow down for a bit? But see, sometimes a lot of courses get like you got the Patreon guys that don't put a lot of stuff in beta, right? So
right.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, are we going to be like a little lull here for a couple weeks until things ramp up again? I don't know.
I don't know. I am surprised. I am surprised that there's so few in beta. I also saw a discussion about, are the beta courses getting played at the right level?
I also have a very big concern.
Yeah.
You know, my concern is VS Pro. Everyone who's coming in new does not have access to VS Pro.
Yep.
Is that?
Yep.
do you think you can get a course released right now without using VS Pro?
I think you can. I think you're going to spend a shitload of time with a prefab brush painting.
Yeah, but can you get the
vegetation.
performance and the density that you need either?
I don't know. That's a great question. I've never tried.
And again, I don't know either. I actually never did a course with Unity planning tools. So
and we still can't just give it out because it technically hasn't even been deprecated from the store. It's just been like disabled or something.
It's deprecated from the store. It's not available, but the EULA prohibits us from giving it out. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer, and I'm not expecting we're going to come up with a solution here. So
yeah.
So it is what it is. Anyway, all right. So new courses.
Yep.
So we had 9. So first one, Eagle's Ascent by TechBud. I'm assuming that these are coming out of Patreon.
I think so. Yeah. This to me, based on some of other texts like Course of the Dead we saw last week, this to me was, I think it was a build, probably a mid-level build or so. Nice course.
Yeah. Yep. Nashua Country Club in New Hampshire by we have never got an answer on this, whether it's Squirrel Tail or Square Tail or something. I don't know, something tail.
Yeah, and we had the whole discussion about this one because I could have sworn I've seen these the T markers, the New Hampshire State granite T markers with the round color of the T box. I've seen them before. And I don't know if it was in beta or whatever, but we had a whole discussion pre-show about where do we see those?
Yeah, and I was wondering in pre-show, and we didn't have enough time. We were going to go back and look at a couple of his old courses because he's done, assuming it's a he.
Maybe another one in New Hampshire.
Maybe another, and he used the same T markers. But I do have Deja Vu with those T markers as well.
Yeah. I had Deja Vu on text course with the train.
Yes, that's the theme this week. That's the name of the show. Is Deja Vu. It's Deja Vu.
What is the course? I'm just drawing a blank. It's in the Pacific Northwest, outside of Seattle.
It was like an Indian reservation, right?
It's an Indian reservation course. I played it in real life. We talked about it.
Check if you're listening or anybody else knows. Let us know where you used that train before. That same like steam train. Yes.
Yeah, so it must be the same. If I actually felt like I was playing the same course at times, though, it was like, am I on the same? Did he just rename the course? I don't think he did, obviously, but
I remember him posting using. I'm sure it's a Unity asset that he used, right?
Yeah.
Serrano Country Club in Aldarra Hills, California, by Bomber Golf Studios. So he had 2 this week, and then he also had Sunnybrook Country Club in Granville, Michigan. So 2
Serrano, courses. I thought from a course perspective, I thought Serrano was a better of the 2 courses.
Yes. I thought it was a fun course, an interesting course to play. Yes.
Yep. Agreed. I thought Sunnybrook, fine course. It reminded me of everybody's neighborhood course. Not his work on it. I'm just saying the course itself, the layout of the course looked like a neighborhood kind of, not muni, but a neighborhood course.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. And then moving forward here, get out of the way. The GC at Hawks Prairie, the Lynx. The golf club at Hawks Prairie, the Lynx, in Lacey, Washington, by Scott H67.
Scott's got a couple courses out now. He does. Probably 10.
There's someone who I think has gradually improved.
I agree.
But yeah,
I agree.
Who's putting out some quality work now. The Legends at Giants Ridge by
the legend Amace.
Yes, I'm sorry, it's not the Legends yet. Amace, that Italian golf club.
He's another one that I think we've just seen continuous steady improvement course after course.
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Who has also grown on me as just the no guy.
The no guy?
Yeah, he's the one that on Facebook.
He's the no guy. He
started the trend of just saying no.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. No, I love that. Nope. No. I use it in my work meetings now too. Yeah. Someone gives it. Side note, since we're on this topic, just really quick. Somebody was just going on and on and on and on and on, and they said Mashy because they call me Mashy at work.
They do call you Mashy?
No one calls me Mashy at work.
Okay, sorry. That should have been your two truths and a lie. You should have said they call me Mashy at work.
Mashy at work. Yeah, I can't tell you anything anymore because I have to save it for this stupid segment we do now. So anyway, so they said, Mashy, what do you think? And I said, no. That was it. I channeled my inner Amace because it was like, no. And they're like, would you like to expand? I said, no. And that was the end of the topic. They're like, okay.
All right, moving on, right? And then Aldarra, is it Aldarra or Aldarra? Aldarra.
Aldarra.
And make me a sandwich, Washington.
So first off, I have been to Sammamish many times.
Are you serious?
Washington.
You've been there?
It's right outside. It's right outside of Bellevue. I think it's just north of Bellevue in Sammamish, Washington. I've been there a ton, a whole lot. Yes, and again, if you happen to see me on the Meet the Designer, I talked about some of my previous gaming life. And I what I didn't mention was, I can't tell you because it's going to be truths and a lie. So forget it. I'm not going to even mention it. Aldarra has a special place for me, so I'm not going to. The name Aldarra, not the country club, not the golf club.
Well, shut up and go make me a Sammamish.
I'm hungry now. I'm going to pour myself some more dinner.
There you go. There you go. Made by the great Bajini.
Bajini.
There you go.
He's awesome.
Grand Island Golf Club, Leesburg, Georgia, by our friend Run Pud Run. Yep. And then the last guy who came out late was Sleepy Hollow Country Club. This is a famous course. I think a lot of people have been asking. I felt like a lot of people have been asking about this course in New York. So Briarcliff Manor, New York. This is the Sleepy Hollow. I think there's tons of golf courses named Sleepy Hollow. I think this is the one that the most people are thinking about. Yeah.
Is there a headless horseman running around the course?
Yes. He throws.
I don't know because I was sleepy when I played it, and I fell asleep on the tee box, and so I couldn't. Yeah. So yep.
Made by JRockaway, and I'm going to call JRockaway like the I'm going to start calling him like I shouldn't, the texture guy. I feel like he understands like textures, normals, depth, and has a great knack. He's got a really good eye. So let's move on, right? So
I see JRockaway, and for some reason, every time I see JRockaway, the name JRockaway, I think of Rockaway Beach, which I think is a beach somewhere in the Northeast. And then that brings me to the movie Dark City, which they kept trying to get to the beach at Dark City. Anyway, so it brings me down a rabbit hole of.
I think when at JRockaway, I always thought about the Rockefellers, which is really weird because I think the Rockefellers are tied to that course, Sleepy Hollow. I think.
Wait, isn't it? Maybe his dad is a Rockefeller. Maybe he is a Rockefeller.
JRockaway, are you a Rockefeller?
Are you a Rockefeller?
You a Rockefeller? All right, let us know.
Let us know.
So, Steve, explosions, please. Must play of the week.
Boom! Must play.
Thank you. Okay, so our first must play of the week is the Legends at Giants Ridge. Congratulations, Amace.
Yay, Amace!
This breathtaking, serene, inspiring, and unforgettable experience when it opened in 1997, it's a great golf course, right?
It's a great golf course, yes.
Anything to talk about the scorecard, Mashy?
No, great course, great layout, great tees, and some really, really unique things about it that I loved. And then you couple that with just a really, really well done job from colors to textures, as you'll see. We'll go through all of that. But no, overall great. And again, 6,900, not the longest course out there, but by no means short. So it's good.
Long enough for me. Now, my question is, what's up with the junior tees? Look at that. Look at the junior tees.
Well, does it depend on what you expect the age of a junior to be?
Look at the distances, though. They're all 150, 100, 2. They're exactly on the, but how did you do that on purpose?
I guess he just did it in Greenskeeper, didn't you think?
But you really have to do that purposefully to do that, though, right?
don't know. I guess I
I've
don't know of
never.
any other way to do that
It's
than to move the
very
little.
yes.
Yeah,
Other than like
yeah,
moving like the T exactly to get these, and they're all 100, 150, or
yeah.
200.
200. They're all right on the money. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't even
know.
notice that. I looked at the total yardages and I was like 2,700. It's not bad for juniors. They're fine. I didn't even really notice that they were
There's only
all right
three
exact.
distances. It's either
Oh,
100, 150, or 200. So Amace, if you're listening to the show,
hold on. 1, 2,
what's up with
3,
that? That's it.
4. Here's my guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I bet he put par fives at 200, par threes at 100, and the par fours at 150.
I understand that. Doesn't that get a little boring for the juniors though? Just,
Five,
I
five,
guess
five,
maybe I'm
five. Yeah,
overthinking this.
yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
we didn't build that one out. What's up?
Oh, Cole. Oh, my goodness,
Ah,
Steve.
jeez. Steve.
Slide him out of the way.
Steve.
And this is why you don't get a freaking raise.
Right? Jeez. Look at that.
Oh,
Thanks,
God.
Steve.
All right.
I
Thank
tell
you,
you,
Steve.
he is quick though with the support.
He is really good, quick with the support. Okay, you get a promo.
So hole number one. So one thing I'd really like. So overall, really good course, right? But I did like a lot of his rock work around
I loved his
ponds.
rock work, and I love
Rock
the
work was really
texture
good.
he used. Yep.
Yeah, and it was like it's not a lava rock. I don't want to say it's a lava, but it's like a dark, like
Yeah.
stone thing. And does that look familiar to you? Because I'm kind of curious. I've never really seen that asset before. He could have.
No, I don't.
He
I
definitely
don't
could
know if
have
he took.
taken something and then put a different like texture on it or something. But
I mean, I use the base rocks. I mean, the base rocks in the rocks in the base pack, they're so low poly, they're
yeah,
great. And then a lot of times will change the textures, change the colors,
yeah.
that kind of stuff, and you get a completely different look out of it. But what I like, and I think you grabbed a screenshot, is the texture he put underneath just the rocks. He did a really nice job with that.
Just the rock.
Just the rock.
Now, so he also did a great job with T signs. Now, these are the Justin T signs, but he obviously did the logo on there, which is really good. And T markers, which is the old debate on whether you turn them in.
Turn them or not.
Yeah, because otherwise, if I didn't go in there, you never would have saw. Thank you. You guys can all thank us. Now you know it says legend.
Yep. Yep. But listen, each designer can do them how they want.
I
Pac-Man
don't
likes them to
care.
turn
I'm
them
just
out,
glad.
and
I'm
I
just
don't
glad you
care.
did. Yeah.
Yep, and we know to look for them.
Yep, I look for them. This was a cool hole.
This is great. I think this was like 17 maybe coming over the water, or 11. I can't remember which one.
What's also really nice about this, so it is 17, is he didn't put flowers everywhere.
Right.
I think some people they start with the flowers and then they just start putting flowers everywhere. You get to 17 and it just kind of like, oh, this is a little bit different, right? And then the flowers are on there to break up kind of the monotony of a regular course. And frankly, it looked good, over the water. I thought this course looked really fun from a placement perspective, playing kind of strategic golf. It's one of the things that you and I look at when we play a course. Is it boring and straight, or does it take a little bit of thought going into it as well? Now that doesn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, that doesn't we don't 100% make an MPOW based on that, but it helps, right?
You're right. I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the MPOW is not just does the course look good in Unity, but it also, I mean, there's a lot of really good looking Unity courses. The combination of, is the course itself a lot of fun to play in the sim, and does it look really good in Unity, right? Yeah. The kind of mix of the two. Yeah. I think I tend to lean a little bit more towards the look in Unity. Like if it's a really fun looking course, but it doesn't look good, then I won't MPOW it, right?
Yes.
If it looks really good, but the course I find kind of, it's okay, then I'm on the fence about it as an MPOW,
It's a tiebreaker for me, right?
Yeah.
If the course looks really good, but it's a little bit boring, then I'm like, no.
Yep. I will say the only thing that I struggled a little bit with, and I do myself in general as well, is, and you can see it in this screenshot, is just how high up the hill that bunker goes.
I was going to say something just a minute ago about that.
I struggle sometimes as well, especially in courses with lots of elevation, altitude, or lots of hills around it that have bunkers dug into it. it's hard to dig them flatter because then you end up with a giant
Well,
hole in the side of the
we
hill.
had this conversation I think a couple weeks ago in the show. Is can the sand stay up there?
Can the
Right.
sand even stay up there at that angle?
Right.
Yeah. So
So
that's
I
the
mean,
only.
if you're gonna do it way up there, give it like an eroded look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you dig it out a little bit more up there and then have more? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I know you fly in the exact bunker, and then I don't know. I just think bunkers on the sides of hills that are not dug out a little bit are
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yep. I totally agree. Totally. So this was interesting. So this clubhouse is really good, especially since like building for if you're listening to the show and you're not like a designer or you're not a blender guy, coming up with curves is not easy,
No, it's
especially if
not.
especially if you're trying to like fit this like the way the clubhouse is in real life.
Yep.
Curves offer two problems. One is they're hard to measure. And the second thing is they're hard like on try count, which is like the number of faces. And they like when you make like a circle is the hardest thing to do inside of like Blender load because you have to like do faces. I'm getting off topic here. But the
Yep.
bottom line is he did all this. I do have to say, as much as I like this clubhouse, unfortunately, you just don't get to see it much on the course.
You don't. Yeah, I love that he spent the time on the
Yeah,
clubhouse,
thank you.
but you don't see it.
You
You
don't
don't
see
see it
it.
much. I
You don't
know.
see it.
I'm with you.
Which
Yep.
is why, thankfully, he didn't spend any time in the parking lot because you definitely don't see this. I actually went searching for this. So,
Yep.
went to hole 10, you go to 18, you kind of look around at hole 1. Oh, there is a clubhouse here. But as I'm playing through the course, I really didn't see this. So,
He even lined up the carts in the rows on there,
yes,
and
yeah, over
you
here.
can see those a little bit as you come up, but not much. Yeah.
No, you really don't see the clubhouse that much at all. So I do like that's why I'm putting in here because I just want to say I appreciate you putting the clubhouse in. So thank you.
Yep. Yep.
So one thing I was like, there were a couple areas, and this is where I couldn't hit into all these areas. But so you see this rock formation right here, Mashi?
Yep.
Okay. Look at so this is and now you see the mini map right here. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Why do you think he made that a hazard?
That's a good. I would not make that a hazard. I would let it bounce off the rocks.
Right. Why does it matter?
There was even a discussion. I think I'm almost positive that there was a discussion on Discord about this where we were talking about put a rock texture underneath the rocks.
He did.
That way right. That way you don't have to have so many rocks that you cover it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can have fewer rocks that you still get the bounce around if a ball were to go in there. So I don't know why you would hazard it. I wouldn't. I would
The
just
only
leave
thing
it.
I can think of is maybe in real life, like you just are not hitting out of that, right? If your ball lands in there, it's such a rocky area that hey, you're gonna
I
hurt
guess
yourself.
that's true. You're gonna walk up there and pick it out. You're not gonna hit off as a
Yeah.
solid. That may be actually good thinking. My thought was it's not gonna land in there. It's gonna bounce around and come out into the rough, but not necessarily.
I mean, I guess it could if it bounces in the rough, then bounces into that, it could stay in there,
You
right?
could end up in the rocks, yeah, and you're not gonna hit out of the rocks. That's
Yeah.
fair. You're gonna
But
pull it out.
I felt like there were a lot of areas in this course. I was like, he marked that as hazard, and I'm not sure why. And
Yeah.
and I didn't have enough time to like hit into every one and see if it's as it lies. Is it not as it
Yep.
lies? To see if like what his. So that was my only little bit of feedback here.
Now, the
I
more I
don't know what the
think
feedback
about it,
was.
yeah, and the other thing too that again, these are just small, minor things in this screenshot. I noticed
Yeah.
that we are playing. I love the rock texture underneath the rocks, but it's too hard of a line from the rough to the rock texture, right? I would have loved to have seen him hand plant those grasses all around the edge to hide that rough into, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that or maybe you even
You
add
could.
the 3DG to that mesh, and then you vert paint out the center of it, so you have a little bit of grass growing through the manual planted grass. You know what I'm saying? To give
Yeah.
that blend.
Or what you could even do is hand plant. Like so, he did hit like this rock right here. Okay.
Yep.
Hand plant a piece of grass right in front of it.
Yep.
You could do another big rock here,
Right
another big
there,
rock
and
here,
then
all around, and put grass, kind of hand plant grass, or like
yep.
kind of like what he did right here. Because right here, you can't tell where that
Right
edge
there,
is
it's
at.
great. I love it right there. I just don't like that hard line.
Yes.
And the other thing,
hard
and this
line
is
here, yeah.
way nitpicky, and I'm doing this as well on the course I'm working on right now, is I have 0.000 issue with the standard bridge and blender like he's got behind that rock, but it's too pristine. Like, I would love to see either a different texture or gray it out to where it's a worn out gray. That bridge looks like they just installed it yesterday.
Yeah. I think there was another course this week that did a really good job on bridges, and I'm trying to remember.
We are talking about that one later. I put some screenshots in.
I think it's JRockaway's course. Yeah.
It is JRockaway's course. Yep.
Yep. Not sure about the bunkers. They look flat, but this is one of those things where they might be like that in real life, right?
Yep. And I know it's funny. Like on the course I'm working on, I started digging out all the bunkers, right? And then I went back and watched some videos. And luckily, the course is only an hour from here, so I can drive up there if I want. But they're not dug out. They're pretty flat bunkers.
Yeah.
They're really more like, you got out of the rough into the bunker, so you're in the sand, but you're not in this deep trough,
And that's where we're like, when we look at these courses, whenever I see like a flat bunker like this, I kind of have to kind of do a little research, right?
Yep.
Oh,
you took this one.
I took this one. The reason being is, hey, just
mow lines behind the back. Yep.
Yeah,
I knew where you're going as soon as you took it.
Yeah, so you got mow lines all around, and like, so this is your fairway, which makes sense to have fairway. Now, I would also say, I would say for this fairway, I think it makes more sense to make the mow lines more like run with the fairway instead of cross.
Can you change the direction of the mow lines with the default textures?
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
cool. I don't know if I ever
However,
tried to do that.
remember, it changes it for all fairways. So the thing to do, and this isn't
true.
isn't our tip, and maybe one week let's do it. Let's mark this down as our tip.
You could duplicate the material.
Yes, exactly. You duplicate the material, then you change the direction of the mow lines, and then you're good. So I would say if you make them more like this way, running this way instead of left right, make them more north south, then it wouldn't look. Then you wouldn't have to paint them out.
Right.
Yep. So minor critique there. I thought this was funny. So first of all, I thought his grasses were really good. I like the grasses here. I like the colors here. This is a bad screenshot. It looks really blotchy for some reason. Did not look this way when I took the screenshot. But look at the cart path.
I saw that. I saw the cart path, and
this looks like a Blender issue.
It is. It didn't cut in Blender.
Okay, which is funny. Which is fine, but it looks like it just like is that 250 years old and it got broken up and eaten by nature, right?
I've done everything from, because that cart path goes back into the rough at the bottom of the screen. Like, even if you try to raise it by 0.01 to get it through, you end up with a bit of a.
And don't fix this. It's fine. This is on 18. This is something I was kind of looking around and I found. So it's just, we have to find something to laugh at, and this is what we did. So
really, really, really great course, Adam. Wonderful course.
Yeah, congratulations, and keep improving. So I'm really impressed with where you're going, and I hope you continue to make a lot of great courses. So thank you.
I think it's your best one yet. The one thing we didn't grab, and we did this on purpose, is there is a signature shot, and I want to say it's on hole 4. Hold on, let me look it up because I wrote it down. Hold on, it is on hole 3. Okay. So you guys, when you're playing this, look at hole 3, watch your tee shot. There's a signature shot. We didn't put it in here because we want to leave some surprises for some other stuff. It was very, very well done. And if you looked at the course in real life, it mimics it exactly. So I loved it.
Now this is somewhat, I took this from his course because there was a new beta release this week, which had a bunch of new features. And one of them was.
Oh yeah, the rangefinder.
What do you think about this?
So I'm, for right now, just going to say TBD. For me, I love the idea and I love the concept, okay? I haven't figured out, I've only used it literally for a hot second. I've been playing rounds and not playing a lot with the beta. By the way, Ralph did a phenomenal video that I've watched 2 times now. That's on Facebook. So
On
Ralph,
all the new beta features.
on all the new
Yeah,
beta
I
features,
watched
yes.
that too, and it was fantastic. Yes.
Very, very good job, Ralph, on that video.
Yeah.
My issue that I'm running into is I'm not comfortable with the keys yet. My sim PC is off to the side.
Okay.
And so I've got my hands and mouse off this direction, but I'm looking to the left at the sim screen and trying to move and zoom in. So I haven't quite mastered it yet. So I think it's going to be great. I just don't know yet.
So I feel horrible saying this, but I think this was a
You don't like
complete
it?
waste of time. Like
Why?
because I feel like a rangefinder is something that's just not needed in sim golf. Like and all this is doing is taking what I would drag my mouse around in the mini map or the real screen or the screen itself and returning the same amount of information as if I'm looking through a telescope.
Where I've used it, which is where I use my real rangefinder in real life, is less about this and I actually don't use it to get yardages that often because I already have yardage to the pin and it's easy to click the mini map and get the front, middle, and back of the green. I've been using it to look at the green if I could tell the slope of it. I've been using it to look at what is in front of the green that you can't always see, without flying over and having to navigate and fly
But I
through the
feel like
course.
I can use J and Y, which is a heat map, much more efficiently than this.
It's another, yeah, I think it's just another option.
So I guess ultimately what I'm saying is I'm surprised that the developers spent their time doing this.
Well, I mean, it's not new. It was announced back in June.
It was announced back in June, but it was just, again, I'm just surprised that they spent the time to do something like this. It's one of those features where I would say it would have been a nice to have. I just, and the reason I say that, I don't think this took them a lot of time. Because if you think about it, the information that you see here, which is 12 yards down and 225 away, is the same information that you get by dragging your mouse around anywhere. All they did was put an overlay on the camera to present that same information, right? So I don't think this took them a lot of time. And again, I'm not a developer. Maybe it did take them a lot of time. I just feel like this was a feature that I don't think a lot of people are going to use this. My 2 cents.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It could be another driving range.
Another
or it
driving
could
range?
not. You weren't all in on the driving range.
No, I was not. But then when it was
And now
released,
you
I like
are.
it. Now that this is
Yeah.
released, I'm like, this is cool, but I'm never going to use this.
Yeah, in that way, that may be the case. This
And
may or
and
may
all
not
the
be a
guys that
driving
come
range.
over from my golf simulator league are not going to use this. Not going to use
Okay.
this. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fair. It's interesting. I think it's cool. But I just haven't mastered the keys to move it around yet from a keyboard or mouse.
Oh, there's no keys to use. You click on the thing in the mini map and you just drag your mouse around. That's it. There's not even like keys on your keyboard to use.
Oh, I thought there were keys on your keyboard to zoom in and zoom out and stuff. Oh, okay. Maybe I was just using it wrong.
No.
Then. There you go.
So let me go back here. Let me go back here. So when you hit them, there's a little icon on the mini map. Actually, right here. This little bullseye right here. You hit that. This comes up. To zoom in and out, you drag your mouse left and right on this little bar right here.
Oh, that's what I missed. I missed the bar with the drag.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And then you just click and hold left mouse, left and right, and it moves this aiming indicator around. Now, here's another thing that's a little bit kludgy on this, is I cannot get the distance to the pin by hitting the flag.
You got to hit the stick.
No, even the stick was hard. I had to hit the base of the stick.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So like
I was able to hit the stick.
Yeah, it's very touchy. I found that my real life rangefinder was easier to hit the stick than this was.
Okay.
But okay. Aldarra.
All right.
Great
Aldarra.
Bajini.
Bajini. This is like 3rd week in a row that he's had an MPOW.
This, I tell you what, he is turning out some quality.
He is turning out some really good stuff. His stuff has just gotten so good and solid, and his all of it is perfect.
What I like about him is not only does he understand course building, but he understands it to a level to start manipulating it and using it to his advantage. good example of that was the Halloween course where he
The
said,
Halloween course.
I know how to build a funnel to take this, and I see a lot of this where he can just he understands how to like manipulate things to his advantage. I think it's really cool.
Agreed.
So this course now, the only my one complaint here is where the par 3 tees.
Yeah, par 3 and junior are missing.
Yeah, par 3 and junior are missing. If you could add those, I do like the par 3s because frankly, when the guys come over, after the golf league, we load up par 3s and we play a lot of closest to the pin. So, so in this case, we got 3 pins, blue, black, yellow, red. Good, nice distances. So we got about 500 between all of them, which I think is great. And then if we jump into it, another fall course.
I love these fall courses coming out. The question is, like, I've been seeing a lot of posts lately about people asking about winter courses. So now it makes me wonder about, should we go back and put some snow on the ground and build a winter course?
I don't know, like, how well that like that to me. That's, I don't know if you put everything white out there. Is it? I tell you what, I
don't know.
I like someone to try and see if it works. But to me, if you put snow out there, it's just going to look washed out. Right?
I'd like to see some green pines because they don't lose all their needles in the winter, and then a whole bunch of dead trees because they've lost all their and then everything else is going to be white. We'll be curious to see ice on the ice on the.
Do you know who has done a winter course already though?
Who?
Run Pud Run, Viking Village.
Viking Village for sure. Yes, he has.
He has. It's low poly. It's
one.
low poly, but it does exist. So he
Great
did.
Course.
Yes, good course. So great depth here. That's actually not. I think this is advanced lighting.
Yeah.
So here's the struggle that I took these screenshots on my builder PC. And of course, and here's what I always struggle with is when I take these down the sim, I have to completely change it. This goes back to the whole collaboration thing that we talked about, right? So he actually did. I think he's got the sun position here to get things a little bit more depth, which is what, let's face it, TGC 2019 does to get a lot of their depth as well. Let's play with the lighting positions.
Some light position,
yeah. What he also did here, I love how he took. There's this bright red tree. He only did it like very occasionally because to me that bright red tree, if you do it too much, it looks wrong, right?
Yeah, but having one in there has got brighter leaves. I love it.
Another one over here is perfect, right?
Yep.
I love the T markers.
Great T markers.
Elegant, perfect. These only exist in the sim world because there's no. They look great. This was 13. And I was thinking about starting a new segment on the show where I'm going to play this. I think I got this slated to play indoor golf in our league for this because I like this course so much. Combination of distances from the tees. So with the distance, because I've got the guys can play two different. I call them long and short. Long is typically around 5,000. Short is around 55 to 5,000. So this fits in that for me. And I like a little bit of elevation and a little bit of trouble. Holes like this, the guys love. A par 3, 204, but down 19 makes it totally reachable.
Playing 180 or so, and so you don't have to take you're taking mid iron to get there.
Yep.
I want to build an 18-hole course, which are the greatest shoot courses, where you're teeing off down a chute of trees like this. All I want to do is find the 18 GS Pro greatest holes that you're teeing off through a chute and put them together and have one giant course for all 18.
Let me introduce you to Domaine La Forest.
Well, for sure. That's actually...
That's exactly what that is.
It's a good call. Yeah, fair.
Also really good with the gradient fog here. Sometimes I think that normally I would think this is too much, but it works on this course to me.
This makes me feel like it's a fall morning.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The sun, there's like some fog out there that the sun hasn't burned off yet.
Yeah. Now in my sim, I don't think this would look as good as it does on my my builder PC, just because I'm on my projector. It just doesn't come out as good. But I would just adjust the lighting in there. It would be fine. So this is where we were talking about. He did a really good job on the bridges.
Yes.
And
that's a standard. That's a standard bridge.
Yeah, you just changed the texture in the middle of it.
You just changed the textures of it. Yeah, in the middle of it. Yep.
Yeah. So this middle section here, I think, yeah, I did zoom in on a couple of these.
Yep.
This took a little care and feeding. Like to have two bridges here meeting in the middle, and both the bridges are at the same height, kind of like level here. Maybe he got lucky with the way the terrain got laid out here, but this isn't exactly an easy thing to do. And this is off to the side.
I would assume that he flattened a little bit. In Unity, and then send it out to Blender. I've done this, and you're right. It's hard, and then kind of say if you do bridges, if you do bridges in Blender, try to say that 10 times fast. Bridges in Blender. If you do, oh my God, I can't say it. Bridges in.
You just said it. You just said it like 5 times.
If you do a lot of bridges in Blender, I have to actually think about it before I say it.
Yeah.
You do a lot of getting the center line and doing tweaking of the edges and moving it around and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, but he did a good job with it.
Yeah, and this centerpiece right here, you think, oh, it's like white looking. No, he made it look like it's called diamond plated metal. So really, I
actually want that texture because it's also worn in the center. So like, you know what I mean, where the in center of the wheels.
Yeah.
And like, I cannot tell you how many times I've driven across a bridge like that.
Yeah, totally.
Where they've got this there for traction, right? It's got some traction for the carts, so they don't, if it gets wet. Yep.
Mistake I did find, which was I think that's a blend that's just messed up. A blend with a missing material on it. So this was off number 7. I don't know like how that snuck through, what happened there. I'm surprised, but again, I'm not going to certainly take an MPOW away from you from that.
No, it's off the course. Yeah, it's not in play. Yeah.
So just wanted to point that out to you. No problem.
Great course. Nicely done.
Well done. And then the GC, the golf club at Hawks Prairie, the link at Scott 867. So this is one, honestly, you and I had chatted about this, and I saw it. I like the course. You were back and forth on it initially.
Yeah, I like the course. And I was a little back and forth on if it was MPOW worthy. That's all. It wasn't that it wasn't good. It wasn't I didn't like any of it. It was good. It was just whether or not it goes to the quality of an MPOW. And ultimately, I did decide it did. This goes back to the conversation we had earlier, which was I thought the Unity work was really good, but I thought the course itself kind of elevated everything else because the course is kind of unique. There's a lot of target golf. There's a lot of risk reward. So the course became a ton of fun. If you hit a bad drive, you're either rewarded or you're penalized for it. So that helped me make my decision.
I totally agree. This is one of those courses where I think the course itself it did elevate it. I totally agree. Yep. So T number 1. Now this looks dark, and this wasn't. For some reason, this is coming across as much darker than it was in real life. I think his vegetation was really good, especially around the water. I think the look he was going for, or at least I hope the look he was going for, was kind of more of a dried out course. It's a fairly flat course going through a lot of residential neighborhoods. However, a lot of marshy areas around the course, which aren't dried out, okay, and maybe they're spring fed. But the bottom line is the course gets dried out, but there's still a lot of water throughout it, which also makes for the very interesting course because there's a lot of holes where I call it frog hopping, right? You got to do your placements.
There's a lot of frogger on this course. There's a lot of you got to put your ball here, and then that sets you up for the next shot versus just swing away down the middle of the fairway or wide open fairway. I thought his blender work will show that. It was great. I was confused at just 2 things that let me back up. I agree with you wholeheartedly on his vegetation. I thought his grass is some of the best we've seen, especially around the water, like you said, and the transition from here to the water. I think it was really, really good.
We'll get into
I've
that.
played a
Yep.
fair, yeah, and I've played a fair amount of golf up in the Pacific Northwest in this area, this part of the country, and it reminded me of that. The two things that I struggled a little bit with was one is I don't know why there's no advanced lighting. I set up advanced lighting in my sim, and I thought the course looked better with advanced lighting versus the standard skybox and
Yep.
standard lighting on here. And then two, I get the going for a dried out look. I'm okay with that. I have no issues with that at all. I think, and this screenshot is making me think about this as well. I think that he's not tweaked the 3DG. I don't know if he's using I am not convinced he's using satellite 3DG to match the satellite imagery he's using. Does that make sense? Because if you look to the left of the marker, the 3DG, you can see green grass sticking through the yellow sat shader.
Mm-hmm.
And then right in front of the tee box here, the green of the 3DG is much greener than the sat shader. So I'm not sure if he's using sat 3DG, and it's not a huge issue. It just causes a little bit of discrepancy between the 3DG sticking up versus the sat color of the course. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. Yep.
Yep.
So I'm not sure. These look new. Like
These are great.
Yeah, pretty cool. Between the
Yeah,
logo,
I like these a lot. Yeah.
the whole map on there, the texture on there looks pretty darn good, right?
Yeah, I love he took the Inkscape view for the whole map. I'm doing that now for my course, for the first time. I think it's great.
Yeah. I love the fence too, the dried out grasses here. There are, I don't know, like this rivals the most number of houses I think I've ever seen on a course.
I think he planted like 1,000 houses. Now, go back real quick because I'm going to retract what I just said. Right here, you can see that 3DG does change color, and it does match the sat. I think maybe it's a little tweaking in the 3DG color is all it is.
He might be using multiple. I don't know. There's some areas that I'm going to point out later on where I think he did a really good job on it.
Yep.
We'll see here.
We'll see.
So this is one of those areas where I was like, man, there's just water littered throughout this thing, which makes it really fun from a course perspective, but also makes it really interesting from a designer perspective of things look really lush around the water, but really dried out on the course. And this is where I think he did a good job, which is the stuff right around is dark, a little bit of a darker green, a little bit more lush. And then, the course is a little bit more washed out. Now, if we zoom into this, you can see this transition. This is really cool. So over here on the left, Now, I'm far enough out right now that we're not close enough where the 3DG is starting to render, right?
Right.
So we don't see any 3DG. But what he did do here, and this is what really impressed me in this course, is and honestly what made me pick this as an MPOW, which was the transition here. I can't tell here where his meshes begin and end.
Yes, I agree.
This is rough.
So good.
I don't see a line here as far as if there's a blend. And then at some point over here, it gets dark again, which is almost like a lush, like wet, swampy thing. And then it goes to water. That's pretty darn good, I have to say.
I agree. It's really nice.
And then zooming in, look at the 3DG here.
He's got 3DG in there. Yeah.
This actually 3DG right here is a little bit lighter colored. Then he's got like the fescue, like dried out stuff.
So he's using some multicolored 3DG.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's using multiple textures or if it's just taking the sat color shader. I don't know. It looks good though. It looks really good.
It looks really good. That was really impressive. When I can't figure out how you did something, I have to give you a thumbs up. Yeah.
And also go back like 2 clicks to the higher level view of the hole right there. I also thought he did a really nice job on lining his reflections to the one tree because the tees, the hole, the green is out there in the edge of the
Sorry.
Go back.
Yep.
There. You can see the flag on the left where the hole is, right there. So you're teeing off in the direction of that single tree, and you see the one reflection. So I thought he did a really nice job lining those reflections up from the view of the golfer.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I think I even have another screenshot on here where he did a really good job with the houses coming off of it too.
No, I will say I do think that maybe that's where the standard lighting with the skybox, those clouds does a better job of reflecting off the water than
yeah. Even over here, you can see like the trees are reflecting correctly off this pond over here. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. This gives me nightmares.
It's miserable.
Now
I can see him going, I've got to plant how many more houses?
Yeah. It looked good. Like it looked good on course.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. Now, the one thing I did notice, and this is certainly not detracting from the course, he had some of his houses set to the 500-meter collator.
Right.
So, like you can see right here, as I backed away, the houses that were right here disappeared, but these ones didn't. So, for some reason, I'm not sure why he did not have these far houses culling. I don't know why. Maybe it was just an oversight on his part. I mean, these are really low poly houses. Maybe each one is 2,000, less than a tree. So not a big deal. I just thought it was interesting why he did that. Maybe it was something he just forgot to, all these houses out here, maybe he forgot to set them to call at 500 meters. Anyway.
I don't know.
Another shot of really good reflection probes.
Yep.
Right. This pond looks really good. Another good example of lush versus dry. A little bit of a I think critique from us was the semi-rough, right?
Yeah, I so this is, take it for what it's worth, I'm not a huge fan any longer of semi-rough between fairways and roughs and between greens and fairways. I've done it in the past. A lot of people do. They put semi as kind of a fringe. And I don't think it looks good as a fringe. And then on this one, he put 3DG. You put some 3DG on that semi, and there's no 3DG on the fairway, and so it looks a little goofy going from no 3DG fairway putting through or going through 3DG on the. And it was on most of the greens were like that. I've actually stopped using the semi, especially around the greens, and I run the fairway around the green.
Yep.
And the blend between the green and the fairway ends up looking like a fringe, without putting a 3-foot fringe, because that's standard. I mean, I think it's 3 feet, isn't 1.5 foot? Like what's the standard if you Inkscape and you duplicate and you expand by 1 by default in the Tortuga?
Oh, default. I don't know, but you can set that though.
You can set it right, but I think default is like 3 meters.
Yeah, the default
or it's
might be
1 meter 3 feet. I think it's 1 meter 3 feet.
Yeah, I walked through in the tutorials how to change that offset. I just can't remember what I tell people to set it to. I think I might set it to like 1/4 of a meter. That way I know that, 1 click is 1/4 and then 4 clicks is 1 meter.
Something like that.
I can't remember what I did, but yes, you're totally right.
Yep. So anyway, just a bit of feedback right there, and you can see the example of that semi between the two.
And more freaking houses.
Jesus
Christ, man. I feel.
Are those base pack houses? I don't think so.
I don't think, no. Those do not look like base pack houses.
They don't, yeah.
They actually look like they're all the same model, just a different texture on them. Like, notice how the windows here are all very similar.
Yeah.
I don't know. They look good, though. I mean, they're packed in. Packed in. Then we go to Sleepy Hollow.
JRockaway.
Yeah. Oh, I was right. Look at the description. Rockefeller.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Rockaway. Are you a Rockefeller?
Right. Look at that.
Are you a Rockefeller?
You must be. This is a great course. Really, really well done. Again, not crazy distances. Tips guys are going to be, it's not, 7,800 yards, but 68 is not as good. He did include junior and par 3D, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But overall, let's go in. But overall, just a really, I am surprised, by the way, go back real quick. I mean, I played this in the sim, and I am surprised. I'm just now noticing that this is a 5-star course difficulty.
Ooh.
I mean, I didn't think it was a hard course. I didn't think it was a 5-star. It's not an easy course. I mean,
I haven't
I
seen
didn't
many
think
of
it was
those.
I mean, I haven't seen many of those, and I mean, this means it's harder than Mulligan's pitch and putt. So I don't know if this thing's harder than Mulligan's pitch and putt. Like, maybe not. But all right, let's go.
So this is the one that like sits in. This is like the Sleepy Hollow. That this is most likely the one that they're going to be talking about because there's tons of
What
these
he
across the
should
United States.
what he should have done has done a like headless horseman somewhere running through the course just as a homage to Sleepy Hollow.
Or as you're playing, once in a while, a pumpkin goes like a flaming pumpkin goes rolling in front of you, right?
So number one tee, and as you can see, really well done. Great colors. They all blend beautifully together. The blends look really good. You can see that really good blend from the tee to the rough. And just really good detail. Now, what I did do on the next screenshot, he's got custom tee markers. Those
You know what I
look
also
like
like what he sees right here? Look how aligned those tees are.
I was going to say that. Thank you for mentioning that. He gets an award just for how aligned. Those are perfect.
Perfect. And
Okay,
that's
how did
actually
he do
not
that?
100% easy to do in Greenkeeper. I think
No,
but I do. This is the light tip of the week. The easiest way to do it in Greenkeeper is to shrink the icon size very small and then line them up. Because if your icons are way big, it's really hard to kind of see if they're aligned. But if they're really small, it's much easier. So
I was going to say light tip of the week for me, since we're on this topic, Mr. John Meyer, who I know listens to the show and is an awesome dude, is give me either a snap function or a ruler in Greenkeeper that I can lay on the tee and just line my tees up on the ruler.
Ooh.
I would love a snap where I literally can just say snap, 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 and I just have to move it forward and back, but they all snap to each other so they're lined up.
That's a challenge.
Okay, how about a ruler?
No, that's yeah.
What I did was I literally, the screenshot I just showed you guys was from this back tee. And I literally turned 90 degrees so you can see all that was, I mean, the detail of the putting green to the left. Actually, that's number 18 coming up. I shouldn't say that's 18 coming up. The rock work, the stone work going up to the clubhouse, the rock work of the wall behind the club. I mean, just the little
Didn't I tell you earlier he's the texture guy? That rock, that wall looks really cool.
So good with the detail and the normal on it. You can see like rock sticking out. It's just really, really well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's a ton of detail right there. It's so nice. Here's the bridge. This is what we're talking. First off, I'm not driving my cart on this bridge.
No, this looks like the bridge when you go hiking in the Himalayas, right? And they had the flags hanging off the sides, and it's windy, and it's a rope, and it's like swaying back and forth, and you're like, no, I'm not going across that.
No, I'm not going to do that. Now, here's what I think he did. I think these are two different assets. I think he has the bridge, and you can see the trusses of the bridge. We've seen this bridge before. Matter of fact, on Pina's course, she used this exact same bridge on Pina's course. Because when I was talking with her, you can see that they didn't have the trusses didn't go down into the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he added these trusses underneath,
which look like to me like bamboo.
I think it's something on a freaking Mad Max. Like I'm waiting for like a person to be hung from them, and blood dripping out of their face.
Yes, totally.
Some poor dude like double bogeyed. He got mad and he threw his buddy into the.
This is what I also thought was funny. Are you driving across this or walking across this?
Well, there are some to the left. There are other bridges or stone bridges.
Well,
I
there's over here to the right. I was kind of looking around at this. My whole thing is up here. There's a hard right turn. Your cart's not making in that there. Maybe this is a walking only course.
I think it might be a walking only course. As a matter of fact, I don't know. That's a great point.
Well, maybe it's not because I see a cart path there, so probably not.
Well, that could be a road.
Yeah. Well, didn't the clubhouse have like carts parked around it?
It did. Clubhouse like carts, so it's not a cart. It's not a cart path.
Yeah. But this could be a walking path, though. Maybe.
I'm not sure I want to walk on that path.
I'm not saying I want to walk on it, but I'm just saying is maybe what we're seeing here is where the carts go, but it's a long way around. And
maybe it's a long.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm walking with my buddy who's beating me, and we get halfway across, and I push him, and he goes down in the middle of this ravine, and I win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a scene out of a movie. This is the final fight scene, right?
What I did get, if you go to the next screenshot, this is looking 90 degrees to the left, and there are these, again, I don't think these are cart bridges. I think these are walk bridges that are further underneath. So they're below that big long bridge.
Yeah.
So my guess is that I don't know if that long bridge is actually in use these days, but it's cool as hell. But look at
bridge,
look at his vegetation all the way down that ravine.
Yep.
Mix of colors, mix of textures, mix of different prefabs. It looks really well done.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he built this bridge. It's just pretty good, and he built something like this. It's really easy just to kind of like build an arch here and then put a texture on here. And then what's going to happen if you don't do it right, these mortar lines here are going to follow the normals of the arch, which means they're going to be spread out kind of like, I can't explain. Instead of vertically, like he's got them there, they're going to be kind of angled.
They're going to be kind of angled, yep.
It takes a little, it's pretty good that that looks really good.
It's really good. It's really good. And again, the normal, I mean, they look like individual stones. It's not just a flat texture.
Yes.
It looks, it's really good.
Yeah. That's not easy to do. It took me a while to learn how to do that, honestly.
And then this is 8. I grabbed this because I just thought like the rock that he has back, just the rock work against the tree. It just looked really well. It was just really good. It's like I can see
my only thing I would say here is plant grasses. Just a few grasses, just a little bit here, just to give it a little bit of,
The mower is not going to go up on the rock to make it so perfect. There's always going to be some grasses. And matter of fact, I would argue there's probably some grasses growing on the rock itself.
Yeah, like in these crevices, or a spot in there. Yep. Yeah, one weed.
Yep. This is the exact same hole. So go back one click if you would, Steve. Thank you. So this is, I was laughing about sculling. I just made a joke about sculling a chip into that rock. I actually sculled my chip from here across the green, and I ended up in the rough on the other side of the green. So if you click forward just be a little careful you can start to see the triangles coming through of your 3DG. I found a lot of times the combination of the color of the 3DG and the slope shader of the mesh, those two both need to get tweaked. The slope shading amount helps with minimizing some of these triangles as they pop up. This is pretty minor, but I did notice it.
Yeah, certain angles you're gonna it's tough. Angles, it's tough to get rid of. Yep.
I saw this and thought this is really cool. First off, he's using a 2D billboard for his mountains, and in most scenes it looks great. There's a couple of shots or a couple of angles where you're like it calls out or you can see around it to a little bit, to a degree. But I thought generally it looked really, really good. And I thought it was just a really interesting hole, and you can see that bridge, another one of those like wonky like Thunderdome bridges going up. And so I went out to the website.
That's a good Thunderdome bridge. I like it.
Thunderdome bridge. Yeah. And so I went to the website and I wanted to see what it looked like, and this is what I found. So if you go to
do you know why I like when you said Thunderdome bridge?
Why?
Master Blaster is from Mad Max. It's from Mad Max, yeah.
Sorry, not Thunderdome is like the third movie. Excuse me.
But think
that's the
no. But movie. Thunderdome is Master Blaster is in Thunderdome.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here it is. Yeah, here's the shot of the.
So here it is in real life. You can see the.
I didn't notice that. I'm so glad that you talked to him, because I went through and I looked at this hole, and this just did not ring a bell with me. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. You got a cart path, like a sand bunker around this like square. And but then I'm glad that you did this, because
like
that's
this is
really cool.
And this course is not the designer. I looked it up. It's not a designer that I've really ever heard of. It's not like a Doak or a.
It's the Rockefellers. It's the Rockefellers.
I don't think they designed.
I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But the one thing I found really interesting about this course was there's a lot of rectangles. Whether the green are rectangle, whether the tee boxes are all rectangle, there's a lot of symmetry on this course, which I liked a lot.
Yeah.
But I thought his representation looked great. Here's my one pushback. If you go back one hole, or one picture. Where's the water? Well, it's there. He made the water is so dark and muddy and kind of brown looking. And you see it back there underneath the
On the mini map?
No. Look below the mountains.
Oh, out here.
There's the
The
mountain.
lake.
Yes,
It's
there's
a
the
big bottom,
lake.
not a stream, like a lake. Okay, yeah.
It's a big lake. Now, if you go to the real picture, and I know it's oversaturated, it's from the web, but you get the color of that lake is
So,
not nearly as dark and brown as that is. So I would love to have seen that been
a little
a
bluer.
more little bluish lake. Yeah, a little bluer to see as a lake. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe throw a boat on there. 18 coming up. 18 clubhouse. Here's an example of having a great custom clubhouse, and you need it. You're gonna see it you see it from the 18th green all the way, 18th tee all the way up.
It's majestic.
Yep. And then a couple more. Here is he even put all the solar panels on the roof of the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Air conditioning unit.
You know what that is?
And then one more.
That's Italian Renaissance right there.
That's
Renaissance. Yeah.
And then one more is just from the front of the clubhouse. There you go. Just to get a look. It's really beautiful and really well done. And there's the number 1 tee. So we've now done a complete lap around the course.
Nice. All right.
Cool. All right.
Just the tip.
Oh, okay. Gross.
There we go.
So
time for just the tip.
This
Everybody
week,
get ready.
Man, I might have had too many drinks to explain this now.
This is going to be hard. We might have to pause and come back.
We might have to pause, come back, edit this, or I might have to do a separate video and put it in the Biomes tutorials.
Can I just tell you that this bottle is going down very smoothly and easily?
Let me hold that up. How much have you put down there?
Are we on video?
Oh yeah, you're on video. I see it.
Oh, you can see us. Oh,
yeah, okay.
I'm a third of the way down so far.
All right. Okay. So this week on Just the Tip. So if you're in the
sounds like a freaking soap opera. This week on Just the Tip, Grace and Steve get back together for the first time. Will it work out? Is she his love child?
What we're going to be talking about is setting your course ratings properly in Greenkeeper. Now,
by the way, everybody was watching just turned off as soon as they read that title.
Yes. And I'm going to try to explain why this is important because, so there was in Greenkeeper 2.0 is when we could start entering course and slope ratings for tee boxes, right? Do you remember?
Yes.
Prior to that, we didn't even have to enter them at all. So then we started entering them, and for you designers, you might be asking yourself, well, we've been entering them, but they're not being used. You're right. You're exactly right. They have not been used. But GS Pro, if GS Pro is going to continue to lead like in the sim golf world, the plan is they're going to start using those ratings. Okay, the course ratings. They need to, right? Because what's one of the most common things you see in Facebook is, hey, handicap play, right? If my handicap is X, can I play against somebody else? And that's actually one of the best things about golf in general, which is, and let me just move our video over here. One of the best things about golf in general, and I'm a new golfer. In real life, I'm like an 18 handicap, and the best thing is I can play against my buddies who are 3, 5, 8 handicaps. You and I are going to play together. You're a much better golfer than I, but this is going to allow me to actually compete against you. And in golf, the person who shows up that day with the best game with a handicap wins. And that's pretty cool.
Correct.
Now, that's my long-winded way of saying that we as designers have to get better at entering in our course ratings properly in Greenskeeper, because going forward, when GS Pro starts to use these, if we don't have these entered properly, we're going to fuck some people over. Okay?
Yeah.
And frankly, it's going to frustrate people. And if you want to, as designers, if you want to continue to make this the best platform there is, we need to do this stuff properly. And frankly, it might take a little bit of time and a little bit of understanding to do that. So What do I mean? This is my long-winded way of saying, what do I mean? So let's look at, and I'm just going to take 2 courses this week because, and I'm not picking on these 2 courses at all. I'm just taking these because they're the courses
We
for
had
the
them
week.
today.
Yeah, let's take an example. So we had the Legends at Giants Ridge, okay, which was released this week. And I'm doing a lot of stuff on the fly here. And oh shoot, where did my browser go? Do I need to cut this out? No. Oh, geez.
No, you should be able to alt tab to your browser. Where does your browser go?
Did I lose those tabs?
You had it up earlier.
I did have it up earlier. I had it all ready for the show.
You did.
Where'd it go? Those tabs are gone, Mashy.
I'm gonna pause and then come back and get them.
Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, so we're recording again. It was my drunk confusion here. So here's the legend. So if you go into Blue Course or Blue Golf.
Blue Golf, not Blue Course.
And,
Blue Golf.
Yes, and I'm not saying that this is the best place to go. It is a good place to go. Okay. So
I think the best place are the actual scorecards if you have it.
Totally agree. So let's see here. So in his longest tees here for the Legends, and I'm overlaying these on the screen so you guys can see this. So we've got his longest tees are these yellow tees here. So I'm going to find his longest tees here, which are the golds, and you can see that his longest tees in Blue Golf are 69.30 yards. And then when he built the course, after he put his tees in greenkeeper, after he put his tee marker out there on the green, it's 69.21. They're pretty close. They're 9 yards apart. Okay.
No problem.
So no problem. And what I would say is, and this is what I would. So this is the course by Amace. I wonder, like, where did he get 74.6 and 136, right? Because according to Blue Golf, it's 73.8 and 136. So that's almost off by a full point on the rating. Okay. The point I'm trying to get at, though, is when you build your course in GS Pro and you put your tees out there in Greenkeeper, there's a very good chance you're not going to match exactly to the scorecard length. Now, you could always go back and adjust your tees if you want to do that. That's fine. But what I have found, and I was talking to John Meyer, that if my impression here is that if your length here is off by more than 100 yards, you should probably adjust your course rating and slope on here. That's my thought. If it's off by more than 100 yards. So in this case, we've got 69.30, 69.21. I would use 73.8 and 136. That's fine. And then the same thing is I can go to my blue tees here. So we got 65.28 here.
Perfect.
He's got
65.16.
Yeah, so he's got 72.6, 133. I'm not sure where he got these numbers. I would have used the ones here. I think maybe he got them from a scorecard. But anyway, my point is that these are pretty close. Now, let's go to the next course here, which is Aldarra. So by the great Bajini. Now, for Aldarra, and bring this back up again, let's go to Aldarra, and let's bring up the
champion,
the blues here.
The blues, yep.
Now for this one, he's got 69. I got 69.26, and he's got 74.9 and 150. So I got 69, 68.75 over here. That's less than 100, right? So I could still use these values. So let's go to the next tees, right? Let's look at the championship tees. So he's got 65.96. That's actually a little bit off.
Is there a tee, real quick? I know we're doing this on the fly. Is there a tee that is closer to 64.46 than 65.96 in, like, that's a combo? That's a gold, black. What's the black all?
Let's look at the
black. I'm just curious.
62.71. So that's almost 200
yards low,
at least 200. Yeah. Well, not
that's
quite
not
200.
work.
Yeah. So what you want to do is find the tees that are the closest to the ones that you configured for configuring your course. So that would say, to me, that's this championship course. And now my drunk is 6271, so 6446. Hold on.
It's 175.
Well, let me go back to here. 6446. I did come up with an example. Now I can't remember which one was our example. 6446. Was that the previous course that we were talking about?
No, it was this one, and it was go back 64.
Yeah, it was this guy.
Is that
so
one
it
right
was
there?
the black.
The black one right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
because the difference on here, go back to your championship course. Yep, that you're at 65.96. And so now if you go to your example.
Now it's 62.71.
So you must have used not the black gold. Go back real quick to you must have used the black.
Yes.
62.71. That's what you used. Yep.
Yes. So this.
You didn't use the combo.
I didn't use the combo. So what I did was I went here into Blue Golf and I found the tees that were the closest in yardage to the tees that I made in Greenkeeper. So in this case, you see in my sim yardage, the one that I configured in Greenkeeper was 6446. In
real yardage was
real yardage, and then the rating was 71 and 142. Okay. The difference between what was in Blue Golf and what I configured in the sim was 175 yards. Okay, so 6446 minus 6271 was 175. All right, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Now, there is a constant in there. We're going to call this the rating constant. So if I take this 175 yards, multiply it by the rating constant, I get this 0.795. Okay, this
time, real quick. The constant number is the same. You'll always use 0.004545.
Yes.
That does not change.
That does not change. The key thing, though, with this 0.4, it's not perfect, but if you get at least the tees that are the closest, you're going to be pretty darn close. Okay.
Right.
So if you calculate this change, then what you can do is you take this change, and since my yardage in the sim, okay, my sim yardage was 6446, was longer than the real life yardage I'm comparing it to, I'm just going to add that to the rating. Okay, so I took this 0.795, I just made it 0.8. Now my course rating comes to 71.8. If I work on the slope side, I'm going to say the yardage difference, what I got up here was 175.
Yep.
The slope constant that I figured out is about 0.0105. So now I have a 0.18375 change in slope. That means now if I'm going to add that to my real life slope. So my real life slope on this course, my real life yardage is 6271. That real life slope was 145. I'm going to add 1.83, which brings it to approximately 1.44. So now my
go back real quick.
My real life slope, not my real life slope, my sim slope should now
rating and slope
should be 71.8 and 144.
144
for these tees right here. These blacks. And I should do this for as many tee boxes as I have.
Which, by the way, that is almost a stroke difference if you are using this as a handicap system. If you're using slope and rating as a handicap system, which we should be doing, that change is almost a stroke difference from what it is posted here.
And that's actually why I said, hey, if you're within 100 yards, you're probably okay. But anything over 100-yard difference between what you set up in your Greenkeeper versus real life, that's gonna change at least the slope for the players.
Yep.
So and that's ultimately where we want to get, like, is to if GS Pro is going to start using these, we just want to make it fair to people and not, let's face it, not piss people off.
No. I would, but I would focus on this going forward. Like,
yes.
Yeah, and if you do an update to a course, then just double check your slope and rating. But I wouldn't make an effort as of now to go back and update all of your courses.
No, because I think the most important thing is going to be for like SGT stuff. And SGT,
Correct.
let's face it, well, let me put it this way. If you have a course that's regularly played because it's a quote unquote Georgia Golf Club, you might want to take a look at it, right?
Yep.
If you have a TPC course out there that's a course renamed, take a look at it. And
There are no TPC courses.
There are not. There are DPC courses, right? Take a look at it.
I'll have to look at Sanctuary. It gets used fairly frequently, so that's a course I'll go back and look at.
Yeah. Especially when you guys start seeing that, hey, the next beta coming out is going to adjust handicaps based on slope and ratings. Yeah, adjust your courses, guys.
Do you ever think there will be a time where there's going to be a real life mixed handicap between real life and sim?
I think so.
Interesting.
I think a real step towards that is this Tiger Woods thing's coming out in January is going to be really interesting. Yeah. I'm going to be really curious to see how successful that is.
I'm excited to see it. Like, I'm excited to watch these guys play some sim.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see.
I saw John Rahm bailed on it though.
Yeah, I did. I saw he bailed on it. We'll see. Like, if it's like I have a feeling the ratings for the first couple of weeks are going to be off the charts, and then it's going to die quickly. But we'll see.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
Yeah.
Good tip of the week, my friend. And John, we're trying to get the message out. So, like, preview designers, make sure you're doing your slope and rate. The easiest way to do it is when you're putting your greenskeeper stuff down to get it as accurate as you can to the scorecard or to Blue Golf, one of the two.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I have a bad habit of making sure my back tees are extremely accurate. And I make sure the rest of them are in the range, but I don't spend as much time on, especially when I get to the forward tees. I'm like, I throw it on the forward tee and I don't care what it is.
I'm 100% guilty of this. Is that when I've like Kapalua, when I first did Greenkeeper, I just went and said, oh, these are the closest ones. That's the number I'm using. I've got to go back and 100%, especially for a course like Kapalua. I got to get that right. I got to get that 100% right. Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
So feature request.
We have one,
which is switch club to putter. Like, so when you're playing the game, even though your ball's not off the green, let's say it's just off the green into maybe it's the semi, maybe it's fairway, but it's like within 2 feet or 1 feet of the green, make a user adjustable function that says, hey, if that ball is within 1 feet of the green, switch it to putter anyway, because I'm probably going to use putter.
I'm going to use putter 90% of the time, and as long as, there's got to be some criteria. As long as it's on a semi or fairway, can't be in the rough, then, and I would love to see a user input where I was like 3 feet, 2 feet, whatever, like, or a checkbox, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Then I can set it to where it'll automatically just go to the putter, where I don't have to manually choose putter from. It's silly to choose. I think it varies launch monitor to launch monitor. Like my XO is, if I am not on the green, I have to choose putter every single time. And I find it really silly to, I find it a little silly to have to go grab a putter on what is obviously a putt when I'm 6 inches off the green.
Yeah. And I think when we were playing, I think last week, we kind of saw this, right? There were a lot of shots. So I think from a computer programming and logic, it would be, if my ball is not on rough or deep rough and within 2 feet of the green, switch to putter.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Simple.
So, make life easier. Simple.
Yeah.
That was easy. Nothing major.
Yeah. All right.
Post of the week.
Jeez.
Finally, everybody's been waiting. Now, again, just to set this up, I have not seen Masta's. He has not seen mine. There may be some overlap here. I did notice that you put in 4 pages of posts.
Yes.
I did not. I put in 1 page.
I think I got some solid ones this week, though.
I'll be honest with you, though. I've struggled. After the what's the right screen for a 10x10 enclosure one, I've struggled to find good posts. They haven't been able to meet the bar. So I haven't been able to find them as readily available as they have been. So Facebook's letting me down.
Do you ever hear like the there used to be like in radio there used to be a thing called deep tracks. You know what deep tracks are?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So not like artists have like the tracks they're known for. Deep tracks are like the
deep tracks
the music that they're not known for, but it's by famous artists. Like and sometimes I feel with post of the week I have to go into the deep tracks, which is mean it's not necessarily the post.
It's the comments inside the
comments.
Post
So sometimes I see a post.
MTV DJ. I think one of the MTV DJs like did deep tracks as a separate. I remember that.
So sometimes what I do, Mashy, and this is my tip of the week for you.
Oh no.
Which is if you see something on Facebook which you think could be interesting, just mark as, hey, give me notifications if anyone comments on this. That way you can go back and see. Right? Okay.
Yep.
So post of the week. So let's go here. Here we go. So. So all right. So let me put some context around this. So this guy is saying this is actually a group that you put me on, Mashy. You say join this group. So this guy says, hey, I have a Garmin, an R10, right? And I'm thinking about upgrading, and I don't really have right here. You see up here, I don't really have any issues with the Garmin, okay? And I run it with GS Pro with no issues. But the only he doesn't have any issues. But the only downfalls are there's no accurate side spin, there's no putting, and the chipping sucks.
Which is now 3/4 of the game. I can hit drives.
So I thought that was no issues.
No issues. The person rationalizing his Garmin purchase. Like, I have no issues. It just doesn't work for 80% of what I do, but I have no issues with it.
Yes. I see a lot of that. People rationalizing like SkyTrack, all the lower end units. Let's face it, they all have their limitations, and that's why they are budget units. Okay, that is why they are budget units. They have limitations. And you can defend them until you're blue in the face, but that's what they are.
I love this one so much. I love this one. I have no issues. I just can't use it for 80% of the game. But I have no issues at all.
Between putting and chipping, that's like you could argue maybe it's 50%, but yes, it is the majority of your game.
It's like those people. It's like I just love my job. I hate working. I hate customers.
I don't like the people I work with. I don't like
people I work with, and I get paid shit. But I love my job.
And my benefits suck. So that one actually took a lot of thought from me as I'm reading it. I was like, okay, this is a good one. Okay,
that was good. I like that one.
This guy has a commercial place. Does anyone have? And he's asking. I get this. And by the way, this kind of leads into something else. But so he has a commercial simulator. And he's asking for like a one-step, hey, if someone comes in, they're playing for the first time, do we have a one-step guide? That doesn't exist because GS Pro is really not focused on commercial setups. But he's using Amiibo Plus in a commercial setup? So are people like tripping over this thing?
I don't know, or they just like wanting their money back after they can't chip with the damn thing, or their putting takes 3 putts to register. Sorry, Amiibo Plus users that watch our show.
Oh, just so we just talked about, let's face it, they have limitations.
They have limitations. I saw this one, and my first thought was, your commercial business, I hope it's successful, but if you're going to the Facebook group for support of your commercial business, probably not the best.
Now, did you load up the beta for GS Pro this week, by the way?
I did.
Did you see the EULA?
I did.
Did you read the EULA?
I did what I did with all EULAs. Nope, I just hit OK and moved on.
Well,
did you read it?
I did. I did read the EULA. And you know what it specifically says in that EULA?
No,
GS Pro is not for commercial use.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So you know what that leads me to believe? GS Pro will be releasing at some this is a commercial version. Total speculation.
Probably. Yeah.
And I think that's smart on their. I think that's smart on their end. Yes.
Agreed. I think there's commercial functionality that it doesn't have today to support multiple, and licensing models and things like that. So I think that makes perfect sense.
I don't think it's imminent. I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
I don't know.
But I think the EULA leads me to believe that they are kind of prepping people that, kind of like what flights for
Trackman.
No, Foresight did.
Foresight did.
Which was, hey, you're not allowed to use third-party software. Everyone's doing it, but you agreed that you can't, and guess what? Now we're going to enforce that, right?
Yep.
So I think GS Pro is now saying this is residential, it's residential. Oh, wait a minute, you're using it for commercial?
Here's a commercial
license. There you go.
And there's some more commercial functionality of you can run it on up to 5 different sims and blah, 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 blah.
Yes, exactly. Yep. I think they got that in the back of their minds. I don't think it's coming soon, but I think that's, totally fair. Hey, Mike. Bull Pride.
Hey, Mike.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt being that good, Mike?
Does it hurt being that good, Mike? It must hurt.
Does it hurt?
Bull Pride. Does it hurt? Does it hurt to be that good? And by the way, thank you.
I love you. I hope he is he the one that's considering coming out to Colorado next year?
Yeah.
So.
He's considering.
I would love to meet him.
I hope he does. I would love to spend a few days.
He
playing golf
seems
with him.
like a riot.
I just want to play golf with Mike and Matt.
Yeah, and shoot the shit.
And anybody else who wants to come, but those two are high on my list.
He seems like a really good ball buster, like in a good way, though. You know.
I want Bob Chung to come play with us.
Oh.
Like I want some of the guys from the fitness channel to come play with us.
No.
Like, I think
No.
I think some of those guys would be so much fun to play on the golf course with.
No. I would like to see Bob Chung though. That would be.
I'd like to see Bob come play with us. I'd love Cook to come play with us.
Yeah. See if they
think it'd be fun.
All right. But does it hurt, Mike?
Does it hurt, Mike?
Yeah.
Mike and Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do, by the way.
So this is another example of deep tracks, where you had this guy he was doing a little searching, and he thought like some of the shortcut keys just stopped working, or maybe they're removed and they're changing constantly. Okay, which is
is it got a random like? Hey, by the way, we've just now deleted the H key.
Yes,
it's just
the HUD. The HUD is gone. The H key. Yeah.
Why would we? We've only had it that way for 3 years.
So this is
what?
So this post is. Let me bring my video back over because this is kind of funny. So this is a good example, like someone posting like something that like, if you give us more detail on what's not working, we can help.
Maybe we can help you.
Right?
Yeah. Mike can help you.
Yes,
Mike
can help you. Okay.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there's this other and oops, I forgot to delete his name. There's this guy named Chris Russell. Have you seen this guy? He has
Chris Russell. Yeah.
He has nothing good to say about GS Pro.
Nothing.
Nothing. I think GS Pro came in and murdered his baby.
I hope not.
Because he's responding to this post, which is typical GS Pro post. My shit don't work. Someone help me on Facebook or Discord. There's no official support, right? And Travis, I think I've seen this guy respond quite a few times. Who's always he's definitely
definitely a user and nice. Yeah, seems like a nice guy.
And he said, except 99% of the time these are user errors. And I'll get back to that in a second. Well, then Chris goes on a tirade here, which is saying there's no one to help from the company. You've come here, you pay $250 a year. It's a video game that's never finished. It's in beta. Other companies get dragged for the mud for this, and this shit hasn't worked for 2 years. I think this guy had a SkyTrack, could never get it to work. He was upset. He had to download probably something. Okay. The bottom line is Chris comes on here and vents his dirty laundry. The funny thing is that this guy who originally posted this, his shortcut keys weren't working. Well, what were those shortcut keys? Well, he can't use 9 and 0 to jump to the previous hole. Well, that's because he wasn't
Those
in
are
practice mode.
Practice mode. Oh my God.
So Travis,
Oh.
you 110% nailed it. It was 100% user error. And here's the thing, okay? And this is what Chris Russell and a bunch of these guys don't understand, is that it's the guys, and I'm slurring my speech here. If the guys from GS Pro have to take phone calls from people, okay, explaining to them that you can't use 9 and 0 outside of practice mode, there goes your $250 a year, okay?
And they got to hire a full support staff just to go handle those questions.
And it's the community support on Discord and on Facebook that answers questions like this and gets these guys straightened out, that allows you to keep these costs low.
Yeah, Chris has some issues. Let's just start there. Chris has some issues. I hope he gets them resolved. Chris, wish you best of luck, buddy.
Chris, you should go out and find yourself a community that is like GS Pro, where everyone works together on a common goal, and then it's pretty rewarding, actually.
But my takeaway of this entire thread: look who solved the problem.
Yes, was it Bull Pride?
Look who solved the problem? It's Bull Pride.
Mike.
It's tough being so good.
Yes, you're so good. Does it hurt? Good. Does it hurt, dude?
Does it hurt?
Does it hurt? Does it
That's
hurt,
the name
Mike?
of the show. It's not Deja Vu. It's Does It Hurt?
Oh, we can combine those together. Deja Vu, Mike.
Deja Vu. Deja Vu, Mike. Does it hurt?
Steve. That's the name of the show.
Steve, we got a name of the show.
Deja Vu, Mike. Does it hurt?
Does it hurt? I don't think we've ever had a member be in the title of our show, so he'll be the first member in one of our titles.
Congratulations, Mike. Congratulations.
Congrats, Mike. Congrats, Bull Pride.
Okay. So this
I saw this dude.
Yeah. Now
I didn't post it, but yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure if I agree with this or not, and that's not the point. The point is again, deep tracks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this guy is
going into the comments.
Without reading this guy is basically saying that a PGA pros. He's surrounded by PGA pros.
Surrounded by them. He's the man.
Yeah.
I mean, he may very well be.
He is. Let me just bring my video back over here. He is surrounded by PGA pros like I'm surrounded by women. Okay. By the way,
wife, your daughter, your dog.
Yeah, I have a wife and 3 daughters. Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So basically, these PGA pros are telling him, hey, if you hit off of these artificial hitting surfaces, you're going to have to get your clubs readjusted every month. Now, frankly, I don't know if that's true or not. I have heard this rumor,
forever. Okay. What I have understood this rumor to be is if you think about the shitty mats on concrete pads at driving ranges they use when the weather is bad, and you do that frequently enough that you can absolutely impact the lie of your clubs. Not high-end, high-quality mats and hitting strips in our golf sims in our office. That's what I've always understood.
Okay. That was my impression as well. I have a nice hitting mat. And my whole other thing is, if you're hitting, I think you're going to have a lot of physical issues too. Like your arms are going to, if you're hitting off those lots. Okay.
For sure. Yep.
Not really the point I'm trying to make. The point I was getting at here, which was the deep tracks, was this guy who said, I'm going to have to say this is bullshit. And Jeff, thank you for the comment of the week, was agreed. This guy's very last name is fitting. Derriere.
Derriere.
Thanks, Jeff.
I love the guys who come into Facebook and they act holier than thou. Like they knew, but I am surrounded by pros. And so what I say goes. What I know goes. And the truth is always somewhere in the middle, which is in a certain scenario, sure, I've got a set of 1972 irons and I'm hitting off a concrete mat and I don't have anything. I mean, come on. Of course, in that scenario, But I gotta say, the last name fits it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff and
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff.
So we got two Jeffs here, Jeff
and
Hauer and Jeff Fior.
Yep.
And that's why they crossed Lewis's name off
Lewis
because
out.
Derriere was.
Louis Derriere. I hear you, but
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't buy it either.
Okay.
And I'll be the first one to admit I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means. So I think this might be my last one, which is
Oh, you have another one. Okay.
yeah. If you're going
my
Christmas
God, I
shopping
didn't
this
see
year,
that.
make sure you get your Run Pud Run Christmas ornament.
It looks like a run with the angry bald man.
This is on my Facebook feed. I just
That
saw
is
this.
so good. Chat GPT, make me a Run Pud Run angry bald man Christmas ornament, please.
Yes. It looks like he's shitting his pants.
It does. Holy crap! Why does he not have shorts on?
I don't know. I'm
The
expecting
fuck?
I'm looking for a little dangle down here, dude.
He even has like tan lines, like the bottom half of
Yeah.
his legs are tan.
I do have to say that I think Run Pud Run is built a little bit better than this guy, but
I think Run Pud Run's better looking than that guy.
and better looking, but and maybe it's just the fact that the guy's bald makes him look like Run Pud Run.
You can move your cursor, by the way, off of his balls because it's annoying me.
I might have to. Maybe I'm gonna like order a bunch of these and then send them out to everybody on my my.
See if we can order them and get a B2B shirt on them.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we can offer them up for Christmas.
Yes.
I want to do that for. Oh, I love that. Best Christmas ornaments. FamilyShop.com. Oh, I'm looking. It's two I's in family, by the way. They spelled it great.
Oh yeah. Ely.
The problem is, I went there and I got a warning. Like, are you sure you want to go to this webpage?
Yes. Yeah. We do not get paid, nor do we sponsor the FamilyShop.com.
So it did come up, and it's all Christmas ornaments. And if I search "angry bald guy," nothing comes up. I gotta find it. So
boo.
I love that. I
Boo.
love that.
All right.
Now you completely surprised me with that one. That threw me up. Oh, there he is. I see him.
There you got
I
him.
see him. Custom photo. Oh my God! You
Dude.
can get up close.
Yeah, but no, we can take Pud's Run Pud Run. He posted that picture
He
of his
did.
face.
I know.
We can
Get it
totally
made into
take
an
that
ornament.
and make it we'll just put the B2B logo on his forehead.
Oh, we gotta sell that. Like, we gotta actually put that out there for everybody to buy a Run Pud Run Christmas ornament. I love that idea. He's such an icon.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Run, you're endearing. I love you, dude.
Yes.
Come play with us in June.
Yes, please do. Yes.
That was good. You saved the best for last. I don't know if I can top that. I have a couple. I only have 3, but I don't know if I can top that. That one may be good.
All right. Okay. So moving forward here. So should I click?
Yeah, code and click.
Because I haven't seen these.
You'll get a blank screen.
Okay.
Okay. First one. I don't remember what it is, so just I don't remember what the hell it is. And it's too small. I can't read it. Oh, I love this one. I know this debate's been posted before, but let's see if we can get some fresh opinions. I'm going to pull the trigger on a launch monitor, and I'm stuck between the SkyTrack Plus and the Unicore i Mini.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
And I pulled the wrong point. So that's the wrong. Forget it. That's the wrong post.
It's the wrong post.
It is. The post I had was the exact same post, but it was between a SkyTrack Plus and an XO.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it was like he literally was debating between a $2,000 monitor and a $10,000 monitor, and he was trying. I just grabbed the wrong one. It was the exact same post, but that was what he was trying to do. It was a total thread between a $2,000 monitor and a $10,000 monitor, or $8,000 monitor. And it was like, is it really that much better? Yes. And the comments were great. So anyway, I screwed that one up. So
All right.
forget it. All right. Next 2 I won't screw up.
All right.
This one's for Soupy. Soupy, will this run 4K?
How did I miss this one?
Soupy, I need some help. Maybe this will answer why, after I hit a ball in the range, it takes a minute for the SkyTrack
Oh my
to
God.
be ready to hit the next shot.
This guy doesn't even know where to find the correct output to figure out what's on his computer.
But that's all he's using is the integrated Intel video. That's all he's got.
Well,
There's no graphics card. That's all he's got is the internal. Like, that's it. It's a soupy. I know you see these all the time, but I saw this post and I was like, oh no. Oh no. Your blood pressure just went up. And Mike is replying, answering. So this was for you guys. You guys answer these questions all day long, and I saw this post and I was like, oh shit.
I swear that they have like 20 different things in Notepad nearby that they just copy and paste.
I don't know how they do it.
Copy and paste.
All right, then the next one's for you. Something is wrong with the system here. If you click one more time, we'll zoom in. See if you can find out what's wrong.
Something might be wrong with this. So this is the cliffs at Kiwi Vineyards. Okay.
Yep. Now click one more time.
All right. Oh. He beat me, didn't he?
He beat you by a factor of 4.
Wow.
5, 3, 5, 5, 3, 4, 40.
Wow. Wow. So then, yeah, and then what? 9 was a scratcher. Like, I don't know, he just gave up.
9 was a full Palmero. He just walked off the course and said, I'm not playing anymore.
So it's funny that you posted this because in my golf league on Thursday, all right?
Yeah.
And the best golfer in the league, who's in real life is like, I think he's like a 3 handicap, had a 24 on one hole.
No.
Yeah. Repeatedly just kept on hitting. Like he had a shot where he had to go over the water. And
he's gonna keep hitting it into the water?
We called it his tin cup moment. Give me another ball.
I mean, you're looking at his club saying, I know you can go further. Like, hit the same club again.
And it was like he was in deep rough and he had to carry like 160 over the water. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I could. Like, I have to hit like a pure shot. 160 out of deep rough is not. That's like.
And it's diminishing returns because the higher the club you go, or the lower the club, as far as the number goes, the lower loft, so the bigger penalty you get.
Yes.
Taking a longer club does not help you out of deep rough.
Right.
And so if you're not used to that, then you can really hurt yourself.
So he kind of started with like a hybrid, and then I was like, you might want to go 6, 7 at the most, and then he went to a 6, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is he finished with a 24. I was like, oh. I'm no longer.
I saw this and I thought about your 17, and I was like, he got you beat.
Yes. No, this is good. Was this guy saying that this was like a bug?
No, I think, and I didn't go. I watched some of the comments and then I took the screenshot and I didn't follow them all.
Okay.
But it was more like something's wrong here, Houston. We have a problem, kind of thing. He wasn't complaining about PS Pro at all.
He was kind of joking, like.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, do you concede?
I don't. I mean, that's a shitload of shots to get a 49 on one hole.
A shitload? Like, that's like an hour.
That's a whole round. Yeah. At one point, when do you take sim drop? Maybe they removed the sim drop functionality out.
Or maybe he didn't know you could take a sim drop, or maybe he didn't know how to concede. And the funny thing is, like, you do these 49, and then what? You decide, fuck it, I'm not even doing 9.
I'm out of here. I'm done. Yep, I'm out. I'm Palmero'd. I'm off the course. I'm walking off to go to the bar.
I'm done. Fuck it.
I'm done. Speaking of being done, we are finally at the end of this 2.5 hour marathon episode.
Oh my God, we are over 2 hours again. No one listens to this. No one listens to this bullshit, right?
No one does. I'd be like, if you listen all the way to this point, make a comment so we know that you actually listen.
All right.
We'll see who actually listens to this point.
Yes, we will. Okay.
We're done.
We're done. Anything else we
Great
need to say?
course this week. Congrats on the MPOWs, everybody. Have a great night. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, me too. Good night. See you, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.